Oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Arsenic Candy Gaming, and welcome back to a brand new series of Caves of Khud. Oh, it's been a long time. It feels like forever since we sat at this desk and made these videos, but here we are, we're back. In my absence, I've not played an awful lot of Caves of Khud, I'll be honest. I've been distracted somewhat, but I've played enough to have picked up some new information and new renewed vigor for the game. One of the big differences that I've made is to adjust the UI, which has definitely streamlined the experience a little more and made a lot of things a little easier to manage. That being said, I still have not achieved greatness within Khud, but we'll see what we can achieve today. We're going to start a brand new character today. Within my limited experience since the last videos, I have played around with some character builds, with some Truekin builds, as well as some mutated human builds. Definitely the experience of playing with Truekin was significantly easier due to the higher starting attributes and definitely much higher level gear on beginning the game. It definitely helped towards achieving goals, but we're not going to go for that easy run today. We're going to go for a mutated human build. We're going to act as though we're talking to complete strangers here, people that have never experienced a Caves of Khud video, because hey, it's a little hidden gem and maybe we can show somebody something that they don't need today. So character creation, we're going to start off distributing our attribute points. They're fairly simple to understand. Strength obviously governs your attack strength and your ability to carry more items. Agility is your ability to dodge and use ranged weapons. Toughness governs your hit point, not only your hit points but also your hit point regeneration and your ability to resist poison and diseases. Intelligence determines the number of skill points and your ability to examine artifacts. That's quite important in Khud. The setting of Khud being a post-apocalyptic world where the old world is almost completely forgotten. Relics remain, though there is some confusion about some of them. So your examine skill allows you to understand some strange artifacts from history. It will make sense as we play through. Willpower modifies the cooldowns of activated abilities and our ability to resist mental attacks. One of the gameplay components is your ability to mutate both physically and mentally, and that brings with it the ability to have psychic powers, but also there are enemies that have psychic powers, and so your willpower helps resist those. And your ego governs the efficacy of your own mental mutations, and it also affects your ability to haggle with merchants. It's essentially your charisma skill from any other RPG. So we're going to start off on a level 0 for everything, and today I think having had some experience with toughing it out in Khud, I think we're going to go for an intelligent and tougher build. Toughness to help us sponge some attacks a little bit more, and intelligence will allow us to examine artifacts and potentially find something more useful. It can backfire, as sometimes mysterious artifacts are valuable, but then once you've examined them they turn out to be trash, and so that they are significantly less valuable once you've examined them, but that's the dice roll. So next step of character creation is our mutations. So as I said before, you can have physical mutations, which is everything from having long claws for burrowing to having a thick carapace that works as armor. There are also mental mutations, which include clairvoyance, telekinesis, pyrokinesis, etc. They're pretty standard fare. There are some really exceptionally good ones. not only do we have these positive mutations, but we also have physical defects, things that will hinder you somewhat in the world, but they also provide you extra points to put into positive mutations. We're going to have a little bit of a flick through and decide what we're going to... Oh, the morphotypes is actually quite useful as well. So morphotypes governs what kind of... You can set some level of control over what kind of mutations you will have going forward. As you level up, you can unlock mutation points so that you could either increase your abilities with some of your mutations or potentially spend a bundle of mutation points to unlock a brand new random mutation. I believe you pick a random mutation out of 3 or 4 that are given to you on that level up, but it's been a while, so I can't remember. So Chimera would specifically, I believe, I don't know why it's not telling you here, I believe Chimera affects your physical mutation. So if you select Chimera, you will only have physical mutations such as extra arms, extra heads, etc. Esper affects your mental mutations. I don't know why it doesn't have that information on here now. It used to tell you what they did, but it currently doesn't. Yeah, Esper sets that you will only have mental mutations such as telekinesis and clairvoyance. Unstable genome is an exciting one, which is normally you just acquire mutation points every time you level up, and then when you've got a certain amount you can spend them on gaining a random mutation. Unstable genome, each level that you plow into it, there being 3, gives you a 33% chance that every time you level up you will be given a random mutation, which obviously has its pluses and minuses. I mean, it can be a really positive thing, it can be a real cock up. I initially thought I was going to go with the unstable genome so that we could just plow loads of physical mutations in. I'm having some second thoughts, but we'll see. Oh, now it's telling me unstable genome. You gain an extra mutation, but it doesn't manifest right away. Whenever you gain a level, there's a 33% chance that your genome destabilizes, and you get to choose from 3 random mutations. I think we are going to take that, and I think we'll plow 3 points into it as well. So we've got the one of the highest percentage chances of getting that random mutation every time we level up. Then we'll spend our other points somewhere useful. There is a mutation that I absolutely adore, which is light manipulation. Costs 4 points though, so we might have to reduce our unstable genome a little bit, because light manipulation is fantastic. Not only do you emit a small amount of ambient light, it's only four squares around you though, I think, so it's not sufficient light that you could see in the darkest of dungeons, but it emits a small light so you can see in your general region around you. The biggest bonus of light manipulation is that you can focus that beam of light to a powerful ranged weapon. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a great beginning in ability. It gives you range straight off the bat, even if you're focusing on a melee character. It gives you a little bit of efficacy when you've got a lot of mobs around you, which can happen surprisingly quickly from the outset of the game. I think we'll take light manipulation. I would also quite like to have the ability to see in the dark, but I don't know if that is something that you can... I can't remember if that's something you can have. Night vision. That's what we want. Carnivorous would make us eat meat exclusively. Slime glands. You produce a viscous slime that you can spit at things. Thick fur. We're covered in a thick coat of fur which protects you from the elements. It gives you heat resistance, cold resistance, and a greater reputation with apes. Apes being one of the races in good. How about mental mutations that we could possibly take? Kindle. You ignite a small fire with your mind. That might be quite good. Sense psychic. You can sense when others tap the psychic ether. Detect the presence of psychic enemies within a radius of 9. Telepathy. You may communicate with others through the psychic ether. Chat with anyone in vision, but not trade unless you are next to them. I think potentially sense, psychic, or telepathy. And I normally don't really focus very much on the mental mutations in Cud. I'm a big fan of the physical mutations. But I think we're going to go something different today. I'm going to go with telepathy, as it's something I don't think I've ever tried. So we're going to give it a go today. Next, we can select our subtype. That just gives us a few extra bonus attribute points, but also it gives you your starting equipment, which can make a massive difference to the way that the game plays out. I know I have a couple that are my favorites, but I'm just going to have a quick flick through and see what we've got. Apostle is increased ego and allows you to intimidate and proselytize, which basically allows you to either turn away enemies with intimidate, and proselytize helps you turn them to your side and make them companions easier, I believe. Customs and folklore helps you understand things about races a little easier. Arcanaut would give us +2 agility, short blade, tinkering, and scavenging, acrobatics and spry. Those are really good. Tinkering and scavenger. Scavenger allows you to find cool things around trash piles that you walk over. And acrobatics means it will make us a little bit easier to dodge incoming attacks. Random junk and artifacts. Random junk is random junk. Artifacts can be quite useful, especially to complete some of the earlier missions that you get. Greybeard, minus strength, +3 willpower. Not really something I'm interested in. Gunslinger is pretty cool if that's the way that you like to play. You increase dodge and ranged ability. You can spot people's weaknesses, and you have a great reputation with mysterious strangers. Marauder gives you +2 strength, an axe skill which is dismember, charge and butchery, which is the ability to carve up corpses and create ingredients out of them. Pilgrim, nomad. Harvestry on nomad is really good at that. Similar to the butchery, but you harvest plants automatically as you walk over them. Very actually similar to the scavenger ability. Scholar, +2 intelligence, tinkering, first aid, tactics, customs and folklore, harvestry, wilderness lore. That's a very Dungeons and Dragons Ranger skill, having your preferred terrains, I guess. Tinker, +2 intelligence, ability to lay mines and set bombs. Warden gives us +2 strength, a long blade, a shield, shield slam, bow and rifle, pistol, +300 reputation with a fellowship of wardens. That sounds really good. I might actually spec into that. The most recent Truekin builds I've played have been very sword and shield based. Water Merchant gives us increased ego. A Snake Oiler, which I assume is your ability to barter better. A better barter. Start with some goods to trade. Allowed entrance to many settlements for purposes of trade, which is cool. A Waterfine Farmer. Toughness, cooking and gathering, harvestry, axe, wilderness lore, yada da 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 da. I quite like Warden. We're going to go with Warden. And we're on our last step now where we get to choose a name. We're just going to go with a name that's going to be easy to repeatedly say without sounding like too much of a goon. Narusham. Id would have been good. We'll just go with Id. Id. It's a good name. It's a solid name. You also have some abilities to save your character build to a library so that you can forego this whole facade next time you start. Tweak your character build. Maybe one day. and copy the code to the clipboard, which is this code here, which I believe is just a character creation code so that you could share it with your friends. We start off with 18 hit points, minor strength increase, toughness, intelligence increase, some mutations. Let's go. So we're going to start today in Joppa. It says recommended for new players. Seems pretty fair. The starting missions you gain in Joppa are apparently really easy. I have died more times than I can count just leaving Joppa. I've died more times than I can count in Joppa for making the wrong decisions, but there we go. But Joppa is a good easy start. There's some selection of easy missions and they're right on your plate, so let's go. You embark for the Caves of Cud. On the 14th of Simon Ut, you arrive at the oasis hamlet of Joppa, along the far rim of the Mograyi, the Great Salt Desert. All around you, moisture farmers tend to groves of viridian watervine. There are huts wrought from rock salt and brinestalk. On the horizon, Cud's jungles strangle chrome steeples and rusted archways to the earth. Further and beyond, the fabled spindle rises above the fray and pierces the cloud-ribboned sky. As I said before, Caves of Cud is set in a post-apocalyptic Earth setting for all intent and purpose. I still don't know what has happened to the Earth or to the land that we live in. I don't even know if you find out during the course of Caves of Cud what has happened, but one day I hope to find out. So this is Joppa. There are a few things we can do in Joppa. There's a couple of... Well, the first thing we should point out is the difference in the HUD layout. It is so much easier to understand what's happening. Everything's clearly laid out with our HP, our level, our character, some statuses, our armor value, our dodge value. I don't know what MA is off the top of my head. I'd have to double check on that, which is embarrassing to admit. What's happening around us, our little log, and then our abilities are clearly marked down at the bottom here. It's a little bit tidier. I didn't even know it was there, to be honest. I didn't even know the ability to adjust the HUD was there for the longest time. But there you go, you lives and learns, don't you? So in Joppa we have a couple of NPCs. This watervine farm, merchant or a watervine farmer, I think he is. Mehmet. There is a priest here, a zealot of the 6-day stilt, and there's a trader or a workshop over here where a gentleman can give you quests as well. We'll go through the starting quests and see what they've got for us. Live and drink, friend. May you find shade in Joppa. What can you tell me about Joppa? Yeah, you'd be wise to speak to Elder Iridad. You can look for his hut at the north of town. Okay, friend, I'm in search of work. Well, some critters are eating our water vine. Farouk claims he saw one slinking around a vine patch. Ugly little thing, he says. Pale, white, 8 legs, and an ear-splitting whine. I noticed a bit of red dirt in the water vine pool, the same we find in the soil at a nearby cave to the north we call Red Rock. Travel to Red Rock and kill as many of these critters as you can. Bring back the corpse of one too. Elder Iridad will reward your efforts. I will do as you ask. That's a mission that I've begun multiple times. I believe I've completed it once, but it was so long ago. That's a good, easy starting mission. This gentleman here also has a mission for us. Zealot of the 6-day stilt. Wanderer, orphan of the salt, hear me. To the north and the west through the Great Salt Desert, the 6-day stilt splits the earth in two. Seek there the grandeur of Shekinah, first among fathers. Release yourself from the burden that Crone bears on your sickly flesh. Go now. What waits for me there? Deliverance waits for all pilgrims. At the site you will find a cathedral, magnificent in its splendour. There are statues erected in honour of the Argent Fathers. There are sublime reliefs depicting our most cherished occasions. Here, too, the wisdom of Esheldat II, our highest priest, and make a donation at the sacred well. Worship at the like sculpture of Shekinah himself. You will find other pilgrims amongst the merchant tents at the Stilt Grounds Bazaar. Other converts and priests. You will be among friends. Very well, I will make that journey and see the 6-day stilt for myself. That is a mission I've never done. But hey ho. Maybe today. Well, not today, but maybe on this playthrough. So, one of the bonuses of starting in Joppa is that there are 3 buildings where you can acquire some early starting gear. But it is very important that if you choose to do this, that you close these doors behind you. If you loot this crate with that door open, everyone in town will immediately hate you, and they will run at you, and you will not survive. And that has happened far more times than I'd like to say. And many a Let's Play video has ended after half an hour of preamble due to that very forgetting to shut a door. Okay, so we're going to search this chest here. It's not owned by us, but we're going to have a look in it anyway. And it contains some leather armor, some studded leather armor, some unburnt torches, a bronze dagger, and a water skin. Water in Khud is very important. There is... whatever's happened to the world has destroyed most of the fresh water on the planet, and therefore water is a very valuable commodity. Not only is it essential for life, it is so valuable it has become the only usable or worthwhile currency. There's another chest in here. Again, do not forget to close that door. In here we have got some vine wafers, which is a little snack you can eat, a desert rifle, a short bow, a cracked lens, and a copper nugget. I said that water is the only currency. It's true, trade goods also work as a currency. Things like copper nuggets, silver nuggets, they are valuable in that they are a way of having the value of a large amount of water, but condensed into a easy to carry nugget. So if you've got vast distances you want to travel, holding on to the nuggets that you pick up and selling your other goods, it is good to get your water up, but then you can have your nuggets to trade when you find traders to get some extra water. It's a little handy hint there for you that I probably stole from another YouTuber. There is one more building here that has a chest in it, which is this one here. Again, door closed. What have we got? Some lead slugs for our rifle. Now that is possibly one of the most valuable things we found so far. And while we talk about our equipment, e.g. rifle, let's have a look in our we shall go to inventory first. So we've got a lot of stuff we're carrying at the moment. All fairly simple to understand. Lead slugs would be the ammunition for our rifle, some armor, some food. Witchwood bark. What is that off the top of my head? I can't remember. It is an ingredient, I believe, to put into foods that we cook. Using different ingredients in food imparts different abilities or conditions in the meals that you eat that can last anything from a day to several hours. Some torches, which will aid us in our ability to see in the dungeons that we will be exploring. A desert rifle, short bow, crack lens would be some equipment that some scrap equipment. I don't know if they can be repaired, but they're good for trading at the start of the game. And 64 drams of fresh water, and of course our copper nugget. So what are we currently wearing? Let's see if we've got anything better than our leather armor. We'll wear the leather armor. We could increase to studded leather armor, but that would increase our protection by 1, but it would reduce our dexterity, our agility, and ability to dodge by 2. For me, that's not a worthwhile trade-off, so we will stick with our leather armor. We don't have a mask. We don't have anything to wear on our back. We have an iron buckler, which is a shield for those that are not in the know. An iron longsword. We've got a lit torch in our hand. And we will equip our desert rifle. We don't have any gloves. Don't have any thrown weapons. And we don't have anything floating nearby. That'll make sense eventually. Hit R to reload our rifle and off we pop. So this gentleman in here will give us our next starting mission. Argive. I always hate reading out Argive's dialogue. It's very confused in its writing. But basically, Argive is rustling away in his workshop. Tensile strength of Reblon, but lacking in dynoelasticity. Retro-threading the M-band would probably... Oh! I didn't notice you there. Because I was ignoring you. Noting a trace yield of synthetic linseed solvent. Unexpected deviation from the Clang constant. Must you disturb me? What are you? Some sort of treasure hunter? At the very least, make yourself useful and bring me a knick-knack from one of the caves. I may reward you. Okay, where could I find such a cave? There are caves everywhere, you idiot. This is Could. Try the Rust Wells just east of here. Very well. I will return with your knick-knack. We've received a new quest. Fetch Argive a knick-knack. Now, one of the bonuses of searching those crates when you arrive in Joppa is that you can frequently find an item which Argive will probably have here in his trading gear. He's got... No, he doesn't have any. We're looking for things like weird artifacts. He's looking for unusual, unidentified artifacts from the old world. Sometimes you can find 3 or 4 of them in the crates around, in the chests around Joppa. But today we had no such luck. Oh, we're going to say hello to Sisyphus as well. Pet Sisyphus. Sisyphus meows. You start to glow. He imparts some sort of weird phosphorescent glow around you, which is always good. I always like to make sure that I say hello to Tam when I'm in Joppa. Friendly camel gentleman. Tam, the Dromad merchant. Welcome, friend. What do you desire? I am Id. Who are you? I am Tam. Sorry. It is a pleasure, friend Id. I am Tam. Do you live here? Joppa is my home, yes. Once I walked the Morgrai like so many of my brethren, but upon meeting Elder Iridad, knew at once to settle down here. You will understand, friend, if you speak to him. What kind of creature are you? I am a Dromad, friend. A salt strider. My people have walked the salt for thousands of years, meeting every creature that lives and thinks. You will not find better, more resourceful traders in all of Could than we. Let's see what we have to trade with you, young sir. So initially we can get rid of our cracked lenses. We don't need those. I can't remember if I got... Just going to have a quick look and see if we got... Night vision. We did. So as we have night vision, we do not need to carry all of these torches. So we will sell them. I'm going to keep the one that's unburnt. Sell the cracked lenses. I don't think we need the bronze dagger. And I don't think we need to carry all of this armor. I mean, the extra weight is not good. It will weigh us down. Means we can't pick up as much stuff. And we will come across so much gear out in the wilderness that we won't need any of this. We will, however, pick up some additional lead slugs for our rifle. Maybe some steel and wooden arrows. They have no weight, so it doesn't matter how much we pick up of those. These things, the muddy tubes, the smoky tube, the small trinket, these are the kind of things that we're looking for out in the open. Puzzling artifacts, weird artifacts. Those are the knickknacks that we need to find for Argive. Nothing else here that would be of any use to us at the moment. A wooden buckler we've already got. Copper nuggets we don't need. And mind you saying that he owes us some money, so it's better for us to trade up and get some nuggets than carry too much water. Mind you saying that. We're going to go with that for now. So he's going to have to pony up 17 drams of water for us. So there is a rounding up system when you're trading. It's never in your favor. I don't know if any of the merchant skills allow it to fall in your favor, but it always rounds up in favor of the merchant. And there we go. We are ready to set off out of out of Joppa. We will come and see the last of the things that are worth checking out in Joppa, though, being the Shrine to Reshef. The Shrine to Reshef is always in Joppa. He is the last Sultan of Kud. The Sultans is a core like story element for Caves of Kud. There were, I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but there were several sultans that lived in the land before. Each of them has been left with a shrine, or I believe you can go and visit their home or their resting places and find some valuable artifacts. So, Shrine to Reshef, the last Sultan. The shrine depicts a significant event from the life of the ancient Sultan Reshef. In 3 AR, Reshef cleansed the marshlands of the plagues of the Ger and taught Abram to sow watervine along its fertile tracts. And the statue is in perfect condition. That will teach us some history about Reshef in our journal. And we can bugger off. There is another shrine always in the next zone up at this graveyard. And this is always a random one. This is a shrine to Sheolshid, the pest of Hanawar. The shrine depicts a significant event from the life of the ancient Sultan Sheolshid. Whilst wandering along Karquil, Sheolshid discovered Miramo. There she befriended highly entropic beings and fixed a satisfying meal. We've discovered the location of Karquilil. We can discover that in our historic sites section of our journal. And that's given us a quest to visit Karquilil. Which brings us to the next section, is looking at our map. And it's a confusing configuration of blocks and blobs and dots. So I'll just close down the sidebar a second. So over here is us on that little X in the corner there. If you press L, it brings up sort of information about any square. And you can also, if you adjust the UI settings, you can also right click on things to find out what they are. I assume that this is Karquilil that we were told about previously. That's relatively close and might be worth checking out. Karquilil. Streets crossed at right angles in the lost city-state whose ruins lie in the still marsh waters. The spindle, the hallowed ground upon which the spindle, a lengthless needle of Maya blue, meets the earth from where it pierces the firmament. I believe that's some sort of space needle, though, or a space elevator, but I've never ventured over there to explore it. There will be some other places on the map that are now marked up from discovering the Shrine of Reshef, etc. And this up here is the 6-day stilt that the priest taught us about. Here is the Rust Gate, or the Rusted Archway. Here's Red Rock, where we can go to find out what's eating the water vine, which was one of our other missions. And over here are the Rust Wells that we were recommended to go and search for weird artifacts, which is exactly what we're going to do right now. You can explore via the overland here, which is often what I do, but it can get you killed very quickly. What we're going to do today is we're gonna travel via the map, which each one of these squares here represents about 2 or 3 overland screens, we'll call them, map sections. So we're going to forego some of that by just traveling along the map. There is the worry that we'll get lost as we're exploring on the map, but thankfully today that hasn't happened. We're lost. We can regain our bearings by exploring on the overland map here. Basically, if you just wander around for a little while, you'll get your bearings again. So here we come across our first mob, which is a giant dragonfly. This will give you some details about any mob that you encounter. So this giant dragonfly is currently flying. Big diaphanous wings bat the air and it drones in place. It tells you about its equipped weapons. So it's got its bite and its wings. It is in perfect condition. It is of average difficulty and it is of neutral alliance. Well, it has a neutral attitude towards us. We will encounter other creatures that have a negative or aggressive attitude towards us, and some that will have a positive. We'll also encounter weak mobs, and also very, very tough, very hostile mobs. And obviously, as they are attacked, they will step down from being perfect until they do a dead. There is something attacking up here. Not really sure what happened there. If we put on our sidebar, you see a horned chameleon to the northwest and stop gathering. The bloody glow crow dies. So there was a crow up here that was attacking mosquitoes, but he has been destroyed. There is a chameleon hiding over here to the left. He's in perfect condition. He is of average difficulty, and he is hostile. He might well follow us. I believe he is going to follow us. I don't know who is attacking what there. Glow crows and mosquitoes abound. This tortoise here is going to be an angry tortoise, an irritable tortoise. His base demeanor is aggressive. The long lathe of time shaved the prospects from beneath a reptile's feet until he hid in a shell of plastron and carapace, brooding and peevish. For some reason, tortoises are livid in the land of Kud. They bloody hate us. So what I've done there is I've hit number 4, which activates our sprint ability as seen at the bottom here. So we're just going to sprint away from this tortoise to avoid getting into too much of a conflict of him. It didn't really work out because I backed myself into a corner there. So lives and learns in it. So I'm going to venture off of this area of the overland, try and get back on track towards heading towards the rust wells. So this chameleon has run right up on me, and now we are forced to battle. We've got our armor equipped, our iron buckler and sword, and we're going to go to work. One of the things we can do due to our... Where are they? These are our skills. Due to our archetype, our character build, we have some stances, aggressive stance and defensive stance. They govern our attack and defense skills as we're fighting. So we want to attach a command ambient light. Yes, I want to do that. Sorry. So aggressive stance gives us an increased attack ability. It gives us plus penetration to armor, but -2 to hit whilst wielding a long blade. Defensive stance gives us a plus... Oh, okay. So it gives us plus 1 or 2 penetration, but -2 or 3 to dodging. Essentially, we've got less dodge and higher weapon penetration. But defensive stance gives us a higher dodge value whilst wielding a long blade in our primary hand. So I think we'll stick with defensive stance so that we've got a great chance of dodging the incoming attacks. Down here, we swung our sword and missed. The chameleon attacked us and we blocked him with our shield. So he's hit us for 1 damage with his bite. We've hit for 4 damage with our longsword. He hits for 4 damage with his bite. He's hit for 2 damage. We've hit him not at all. I think he might well end us here if we're not careful. We switch to aggressive stance and see if we can finish him off. Our health has dropped below 40%. He might well finish us. He's wounded. Should we run? I don't know that we should run. We risk it for a biscuit. He's dead. That was tougher than I wanted it to be. Now, a very valuable thing that I have not done in my previous playthroughs, and it is the dumbest thing, is just resting. Just hit the tilde key. We'll sit in the corner. We'll rest until we're healed. We're in a much better position. So, first combat one. Barely. That'll become a lot better, a lot easier once we've leveled up a little bit. We've got more attack, strength, and better toughness, and therefore greater HP. It'd be nice to not be lost anymore. How can we make that happen? I've got a feeling that it's not going to be happening anytime soon. Oh, geez. I wasn't paying attention there. So, we've come across a snap-jaw warrior. Tussocks of fur, dressed skin, stretched over taut muscle. Upright she stands, but she looks ready to drop onto fours. Her snout snarls and her ears twitch. She barks, and her hyena tribesmen answer. Snapjaws are one of the first truly aggressive mobs you come up against. Or like they are a threat. They're fairly weak on their own, but they seem to attack in they attack in swarms, and they can very, very quickly overpower you. This one is extremely hostile, but already injured, so hopefully we can do a significant amount of damage in quick time and get away. We killed him. The corpse has left behind a woven tunic, which will increase our damage resistance and our ability to dodge, and a bronze dagger, which we are not proficient in, so we will not pick up. We'll do a bit of a rest here. We are actually a bit hungry, so it might be worth looking at making a camp, which is one of our skills. We can't cook with hostiles nearby. Okie dokie. So just going into our inventory and finding a bit of jerky would help. And we will eat. Well, let's have a look at it first. Goat jerky, 10 servings. A strip of smoked goat flesh. Has HP based effects to cooked meals. We will just eat one. We are now hungry and quenched. There we go. Oh, and we're hungry again already. It doesn't fill you up for very long. Well, that one didn't last quite so long as any of the others. But we will fire up this campfire now and whip up a meal. You toss a glorious hunk of cheese, a sprinkle of shale and a thorn from a jilted lover into the pot, and you stir. That should satiate our hunger for a much longer period of time. A salamander. Avoid spots, crimson and coral and citrine run the course of his torso and head. We won't look at every mob we come across, but just get some of the starting mobs past us. A very tough Equimax, a very strong, dangerous horse if you fuck about with him. We're going to shoot this guy with our rifle. He died instantly. He was not a threat today. Foreskin gloves I would like to equip. Let's see if we can put those on our hands. Boarskin gloves. And I would like to remove our leather armor and go for the woven tunic. This simple tunic is woven of stiff plant fiber. It's surprisingly comfortable. The increased dodge is going to be massively beneficial, I think. Here we've come up against a pool of salt water, which we have to choose to enter. Oh. I think we didn't enjoy that. Something is shooting at us. This blopping noise is a one of the enemies. Oh, here's one here as well. So that is a seed-spitting vine. Fun for us. Even the plants in could take you out at any moment if you're not careful. Everything from seed-spitting vines to the overgrown mushrooms that you encounter in dungeons are all bloody deadly. I'm hoping that we can get this one before he does too much damage to us. There we go. We're not in a great condition here. We're very wet at the moment, so hopefully we can get that solved pretty soon. If we could no longer be lost, I'd appreciate it. Black robes, battle axe, we don't need any of that. There is an ability to auto explore areas by hitting the 0 key. At the moment we don't really want to do that. We want to take our time. The honey skunk, I've never seen one of these, I don't believe. Everything near the bantam mammal is damp. Fur, hair, leaves, soil, slick silver alloys. It is as if he's a furry world unto himself. And the sweet, sickening, evaporated honey about him is his atmosphere. This rapidly moving tortoise is going to be a problem. How about you guys take on the tortoise? And I will get the hell out of here. This is a snapjaw brute, I believe. Oh no, he's just a hide-sheathed hermit. Patchwork of ash and dirt-caked hides make a gradient of flesh across the hermit's body. His hair is knotted into a rat's nest. He screams in a tongue of his own invention. Come on, mate. You come on over. Die. An engraved bronze short sword. Stuff like engraved goods, they are of greater value, and some of them have skills attached to them that make them extremely valuable and worth using. So the engraved bronze short sword, a light sword meant for close combat. It gives us plus 50 reputation with a cult of Artaxatef. Yeah, Artaxatefa. Bonus strength cap of 1. A weapon class of short blades. It is engraved with a scene from the life of the ancient sultan Artaxatafa. In 6745 BR, Artaxatafa won a decisive victory against the combined forces of Dagamu Palace at the bloody battle of Alam Riu Moras, or Alam Riwa Moras. As a result of the battle, Alam Riwa Moras was so evaporated of all moisture that it was renamed the Salt Spangled Moor. And that's a bit of history that we can note in our diary to talk to our blog about. Let's have a little explore and see if there's anything worth picking up here. A sturdy leather cap, which we can probably pop on our head in a moment. Bronze two-handed. I love a two-handed sword in Caves of Khud, but we won't be using one today. That is not what we have set out for ourselves. Okay, this is a difficult screen. Baboons are awful. They it means we've arrived at in the general area of the Rust Wells, I believe. But they are extremely hostile, and there's always friggin' loads of them. So we might back out and try and come at this from a better angle. How's this tortoise doing? Have we even damaged him? Our health has dropped below 40. He hit us for 5. I'm going to back off a minute. I'm going to take a rest here while we can. He got it for us. Let's see if he's alright. We ask about our location and are no longer lost. He has a shield. What shield are we currently using? Are we using an iron buckler? We are. So that's no good to us, mate. Live and drink, my friend. What we will do, though, is we will navigate to the Rust Wells in a much easier fashion. Where are we? We're at the bottom of the screen there, surrounded. We took out a snapjaw, gained a level. I think we will risk going head to head with these boys, apparently. So we could pick up any of these goods, but we're not going to. And I think it's probably best we back off just for a moment. We need a way to take a rest, really. So, we need to find somewhere to hide away from all of these boys. So forgive me while I find somewhere to sneak into a corner. A salty bloody short bow. Okay, we found a quiet corner to hide in, and we're much better now. Let's take out all of these boys that are around. Oh, Jesus. Right. This is our first, I believe, legendary opponent. Scroobu Uguhomo, the fleet-footed snapjaw gutspiller. As before, tussocks of fur, dressed skin, stretched over taut muscle. Swarm Alpha. As long as this creature is adjacent to its target, it grants +2 to the swarm bonus of each other swarmer who is adjacent to its target. This creature receives +1 to its 2 hit and penetration rolls for each other hostile swarmer but beyond the first 2 who are in another square adjacent to its target. Great. That made no sense. Disliked by insects for giving one of their kind an unfavourable horoscope reading. Okie dokie, boys. So we'll run away a little bit. What condition is he in? We killed him! But we have increased our reputation with insects. Oh! And there you go. That's how an episode of Caves of Khud ends prematurely. Thanks very much for joining us. We will be back with another run at it. Hopefully we last a little bit longer than the hour we lasted today. It's been a pleasure to be back. I know it's a disappointing ending, but hey, that's the way that things go in the Caves of Khud. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.